going to do is I'm going to get into my story about stories, which will be fun. So I am what you would call a geek, a nerd. I heard it all in high school, and probably even yesterday. One of the things that I really love to do, I'm a big superhero guy. I am a superhero, but that's another story for another day. So once a year, what I like to do is me and a bunch of friends, we go down to the geek mecca in Canada, Fan Expo. Now, some of you may know what that is, and some of you may not. What we have is Labor Day weekend in Toronto at the Metro Convention Centre for now 4 days. It is Canada's largest comic book convention, and it is a blast. We have a bunch of friends. We all go down there for the weekend. We dress up, we party, we meet celebrities. They fly in these celebrities from all over the world. I've met Henry Winkler, I've met Elvira, I've met William Shatner, Christopher Lloyd. I had drinks with Catherine O'Hara a couple of years ago. That was kind of fun. It's like all these little movies, Body Heat. Oh, anyways, that's a long story. So we go down and we hang out with all these celebrities. Now, if you've never been, one of the funnest things to do with these celebrities is that they have Q&A sessions. So you actually get to look on your little brochure and, you know, William Shatner on Sunday at 1 o'clock is going to be in a hall, and you can go hear him speak, and then he answers questions from all the Trekkies and the 2 Boston Legal fans and, you know, all that stuff. I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So it's 2013, and we're at Fan Expo. Now, at the end of each day, my friends and I always meet up at a pub, a patio, share the stories of the day. So we get to this patio, Jack Astor's on Front Street, and all my other friends are already there. And me and my warrior brother Duncan show up, and my buddy Jeff's there with his wife, Michelle. Now, Michelle and I have never, ever gotten along. And so we sit down, and Michelle's in the middle is telling the story. Now, it's the first year for Stephen Amell to be at Fan Expo. Is anybody familiar with the show Arrow? Green Arrow? Stephen Amell? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what? I told this story at now six MoMondays, and every time I tell it, the photographer and the video people are like, yeah, we know. And yeah, okay. So Stephen Amell, who plays Green Arrow, him and his brother Robbie are from Toronto, actually. They grew up at Yonge and Bloor. And Stephen Amell has just done the first season of Arrow, and we're all excited. It's a great superhero show. It's in the 7th season now. Super excited. So we sit down, and Michelle's telling this story. Michelle's story is this. So Jeff and I are in line to see Stephen Amell's QA. And we are waiting and waiting and waiting. And we look over in the hall, and Stephen Amell walks by with security. And there's these 2 young kids with him. And he walks by, and he goes up down the hall, and he turns the corner as the line turns the corner, and he keeps walking down that way. And so we're excited. We're going to see Stephen Amell. And all of a sudden, I hear this loud voice. Oh my God, Stephen! Oh my God, you're so great. We love the show. It's awesome. Oh my God, it's so cool to see you. Thank you for playing Green Arrow. This is awesome. She's like, and this loud, obnoxious guy will not shut up. Like, he's just going on and on and on. He's driving me nuts. I thought I was going to have to take some Tylenol. So Duncan and I had got our beers at that point. And I look over at Duncan. He looks at me, and we burst out laughing. And so Michelle looks at me and says, well, what's so funny? And I go, yeah, the loud, obnoxious guy, that was me. So now my story of meeting Stephen Amell. I'm in line with a bunch of fans. We're talking about the season, how it's going. We're talking about all superhero stuff, how the Fan Expo is going. And been in line for probably about 45 minutes to an hour. And I look down the hall, And all of a sudden around the corner comes Stephen Amell with security. And these two young kids are with him. And I look at Stephen Amell and I'm like, oh my God, Stephen, this is amazing. The show is so good. Green Arrow on TV, it's so good. You're such an amazing actor. You're perfect for this part. Thank you so much for all the hard work you're doing. Oh my gosh. And I look around and everybody's looking at me. And I'm like, we've all stood in line for at least an hour to meet this guy. Why am I the only one excited? And I'm like, Stephen, this show is incredible. Thank you so much for everything you do for it. And he looks up at me and he blushes and puts his head down and keeps walking. So about 15 minutes later, the line starts to move. We're going into the hall for Stephen Amell's Q&A. So we get through the big double doors coming in, and everybody's being escorted to the left, and two people from Fan Expo stand in front of me all of a sudden. I'm like, oh no. Did I get a restraining order? Is this me being asked to leave? And they say, the rest of the line go to the right. So we're like, oh, okay. So me and Duncan start hiking it down the hall. It's curving around the theater. It's curving around to get to the bottom of the hall. There's just this door there. There's nobody there. There's just a door in front of us. So I open the door. It's front row for the Q&A. And there's 2 empty seats left. I may have thrown some elbows. It's not my finest moment. But we took those 2 front seats. So about another 15 minutes goes by. The 2 young people who actually host a show on the Space Channel come out with Stephen Amell. They're on either side of him, and they sit down, and one of the young kids picks up the microphone and says, we know we're running late, so we're just going to open it up to Q&A right away. Does anybody have any questions? People start raising their hands, getting up, and Stephen Amell picks up his microphone and says, no, wait a minute. Where's that guy that was yelling at me in line? And he gets up, and I stand up and look at him. And you can see this on my Facebook wall for those of you who are friends or who are going to join. I've got the proof. Walks over to me, leans down, shakes my hand, and says, thank you so much. You made this con for me. Now, I tell this story a lot with the one important message that I want to put out there. We all have stories. We all have things we may be shy to share or embarrassed to share. It may be an emotional moment, a tough moment in your life. Things that somebody else will gain a wealth of knowledge from just hearing that story. Your story may change somebody else's life. There will always be someone who will shit all over your story. And it doesn't matter because it's your story. So get out there, share those stories. Because isn't that what MoMondays is all about? Thank you.